Hello, I'm Oleksiy Goncharenko and you're watching TVP World Talks, where every word matters. President Volodymyr Zelenskyy has embarked upon an ambitious quest to the United States to convince both the current president and the current candidates for presidency to support Ukraine in its struggle against Russian aggression, which has begun back in February 2022 and shows no signs of abating. However, there are also challenges, especially political ones, regarding obtaining this support, because as the US elections approach, unfortunately, the cause of helping Ukraine is becoming a part of the political discussion in the US, and that actually can be a problem. So will President Zelenskyy be able to fulfill his goal to present the victory plan and to make sure that the plan is implemented to achieve a just peace in Ukraine? Well, we'll be asking this and many other questions to our guest today, Oleksiy Goncharenko, Ukrainian MP, representing European Solidarity. Hello and welcome to TVP World.
Hello.
So, what do you think about this initiative? What is likely to be the biggest challenge for President Zelenskyy? He has arrived in the US. He has already begun his mission there, speaking at the UN General Assembly. Very powerful speech indeed. But the big question, as always, is this. Will the US, both today and also after the elections, maintain their support for Ukraine? And what are the biggest challenges?
Yes, definitely. The political situation in the United States, the elections, is a challenge for us because the United States is our biggest ally, and we are very dependent from the support from the United States of America. And I think that the main task for President Zelenskyy and in general for Ukraine now in the United States is to address not to emotions, but to pragmatic things there. I think emotions don't work really good anymore. Just because people got used to what's happening in Ukraine. Yes, it's awful. Yes, Russia is awful. Yes, it's unjustified aggression. But people got used to this, unfortunately, for us. So we need to speak more pragmatically, practically, and explaining why what's happening in Ukraine matters to the United States of America. And I really believe in this, and I want this to happen. And I want our president to address it in this way, saying that all these investments, military support of the United States to Ukraine is coming to destroy military potential of their biggest rival, second biggest rival of China, Russian Federation, and really alive China. And that we are fighting not just against Russia, but this is the war of this axis of chaos, China, North Korea, Iran, Russia, against today Ukraine, but Putin is clear. He's saying that's my war against the West in general. So we need to remind this time and time again, not to give a possibility for Russia and those who are trying to spread Russian narratives, just to say, oh, this is a war in faraway country. We are so far away from there. It doesn't matter for us. So I think this is the biggest challenge now, and that's what we should do. Because we don't know who will win elections in the United States. But whoever will win, we need to continue our cooperation. And it's in the best interest, not of just Ukraine, but of the United States themselves.
So, of course, this is a war about not just Ukraine itself, as you said, it is about international order. It is about international law. It is about global principles, about stability. And it does seem that President Biden, and by extension also Kamala Harris, they understand that because they speak the same language. But with Donald Trump, it's a bit different, isn't it? Donald Trump was asked multiple times if he wants Ukraine to win. He would not answer that. And furthermore, he actually criticized President Zelenskyy during his campaign rally. Let us take a look at what President Trump, former US president and now the Republican presidential candidate, had to say about Zelenskyy.
I think Zelensky's the greatest salesman in history. Every time he comes into the country, he walks away with $60 billion. Billion! Walks in with $60 billion. He wants them to win this election so badly. But I would do differently. I will work out peace As president-elect, if I win this election, the first thing I'm going to do is call up Zelenskyy and call up President Putin, and I'm going to say, you got to make a deal. This is crazy. I think Zelensky's the greatest salesman in history. Every time he comes into the country, he walks away with $60 billion. Billion! Walks in with $60 billion. He wants them to win this election so badly. But I would do differently. I will work out peace as president-elect. If I win this election,
Yeah, for some reason, Donald Trump got on a loop, something of a Groundhog Day for Donald Trump, apparently, in this video. But still, there is a lot to unpack. I mean, accusing President Zelenskyy of essentially working for the Democrats to win the elections. Now, that is a bit much, wouldn't you agree? Why would Trump say something like this?
You know, I don't want to criticize Trump because he can become president of the United States, and we will need to work with him, and a lot of will be dependent from him. And I think the best thing that Zelensky should do is to be as far away from internal politics in the United States as possible. And you know, I even should tell you, I'm not sure that now it's the best time. Was the best time for President Zelenskyy to go to the United States. Maybe it was better to stay away from the United States before the end of American elections. Because every word said, every meeting organized, like his visit started in Pennsylvania, which is one of the swing states. And, you know, the battle for Pennsylvania is one of the crucial battles in these elections in the United States. And he went there definitely with the governor of the state, but he's Democrat and so on. And I just don't want Ukraine to be involved in this internal politics in any possible way, because I want Ukraine to cooperate with the United States, whoever will be president of the United States.
No, of course. I mean, that's the diplomatic thing to... Do you think President Zelenskyy made a mistake by giving the interview to the New Yorker? Because that was a response to the New Yorker interview. And in this interview, he didn't exactly criticize Trump. He just said, I believe, I'm quoting from memory, I believe Donald Trump doesn't really understand the conflict in Ukraine because this is a war. The longer you look at it, sometimes actually the less you understand. He criticized J.D. Vance, and I mean, it's kind of understandable because J.D. Vance said, well, I think the plan for peace in Ukraine would be to introduce a DMZ on the line of contact so Russia would keep what it has taken illegally, and also no NATO membership for Ukraine. So, I mean, President Zelenskyy, well, wouldn't you agree that he had to speak up on the J.D. Vance proposal?
No, I don't think so. I think, yes, I would not do such interview. And no difference what J.D. Vance said, no difference what Donald Trump would say. We need to be as far from these elections as possible.
But they're really exploiting this. I mean, the Trump campaign always said, like, you know, accusing Zelenskyy of being a salesman. He didn't do this the first time. He already said that, like, many times before.
Yeah, but tell me, what we are winning just by saying, oh, no, that's not true. Oh, Donald Trump really doesn't know what he is saying. What Ukraine is winning by that? What we are gaining from that? Donald Trump is not just Donald Trump. First of all, there is a real chance that he will be the president. But secondly, he is a Republican Party. And we need to remember that it's not just the presidential election happening in the United States, but also Congress, and 1/3 of the Senate will be elected in the beginning of November. And we don't know who will control the Senate. We don't know who will control the House of Representatives. And if it will be Republicans, we need to work with them. And we have all to do this. And the worst thing we can do is to have some personal clashes with some people very influential in party, like Senator J.D. Vance. If he will not be vice president, he will be senator still. I mean, me as the member of the parliament, I can say whatever I want. I'm a politician. I'm just saying what I think, but also I'm trying to be cautious. A president should be super cautious. President should be super silent about such things, because this is elections and very high stakes in the United States. It's not about Ukraine even. It's about the whole world. And first of all, for the United States, it's about themselves. So I think we need to be not to criticize anyone, not to intervene in any way. We are not doing this. I want to underline this. But I even don't want us to give any hint, any idea that we are doing this. I don't want to give some people in our entourage, for example, President Trump, just to give them possibility to say, look, what we said to you, they want Democrats to win. We don't. We don't want Republicans to win. We don't want Democrats to win. Well, that is up to American people. They will decide who will win these elections. It's not about Ukrainians at all. So we have all respect to both parties. And I think that in any interview, when he was asked, the President Zelensky should say just this: I have respect to all American politicians. I have respect to American people. They will elect their leadership, and I will work with their leadership, whoever will be elected, because this is in the best interest of our both countries.
So hopefully the respect will be mutual. According to The Guardian, the meeting between Zelensky and Trump might actually not happen. At least there is no certainty. What is certain is that President Zelensky will meet with President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris. And by the way, the most recent poll indicates that Kamala Harris has 7% lead over Donald Trump. This is according to a poll cited by Reuters today. But regardless of that, obviously, this is a developing story. Oleksiy Goncharenko was our guest today. Thank you very much for joining us and for sharing your insight. And I'm Jan You're watching TVP World. Please do stay with us.